Are you looking for somebody in particular? Oh, the police officer? He's right here. Yeah.
He's got his back to me. I couldn't see him. Yeah, that's how Sorry about that, sir. Have a great week.
But I'll have a custodian here, and also I'm going to put some stuff down there.
And I just printed these just as I was leaving, but I have just a couple of lists if they want to circulate during the meeting. One of them is organized by time and what they're doing, and the other is alphabetical.
Okay.
So,
Well, you're gonna come up this week, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So,
So I'll just let people circulate these. Did you get my text message about the check?
yes, I got the checkbook. I just gotta write it. It'll probably be at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a client call at 1 o'clock, so I will be out of here by 12:45.
Okay. I can write it during the meeting.
Just when your very biggest client says, we need this meeting at this time.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, I understand that.
Good rainy Monday morning to everybody. Jared Finn's going to lead us in our invocation.
All right, please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all together here on this Monday afternoon. Please continue to bless the work that this club does. Bring us all closer together as friends. Bring us all closer together with you. Bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies and the hands that prepared it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed? And the twilight's last gleaming, with broad stripes and bright stars, through the perilous sky. O'er the ramparts we paused, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star shine better yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. Please be seated. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but it was so wet outside, I didn't want to come to this Monday morning meeting. But I didn't have much choice. I'm glad you guys made the choice to come to our meeting today. Johnny, would you mind introducing any guests that we might have? I don't think I've seen, but
Yeah.
It's up here.
There we go. I did not see any guests, but if you have any guests, if you go ahead and raise your hand and identify yourself, come forth. Except for our speaker, I believe that is our only guest.
all right.
It's just us Rotarians.
All right, well, I'm not prepared as usually I'm pretty good about being prepared. We do have 2 new members to install today. We have Ashley Goldman and Cheryl Wolf. If both of you guys, you 2 ladies, would come on up front, we're going to install you today. And that's where I'm not prepared. I don't have my fancy speech to read to you. If you'll stand over here so that people can see you on the camera, that would be great. Johnny, can you assist me?
Absolutely.
So traditionally, there's a little thing that I read out to you guys that talks a little bit about joining Rotary. I completely forgot that today, so I apologize. But as joining Rotary, you're also joining an organization that has 1.2 million members worldwide. So you have a fellowship with Rotary almost anywhere that you go. We have a great club. I challenge each of our club members out here to get to know our new members. Ashley, Cheryl, sorry, I need to get to know them apparently. Ashley and Cheryl, we're going to do our spotlight in just a second, but please make certain that you guys get to know them. I hope you can come out to our spaghetti supper this week. I love being a member of Rotary, and I hope that you guys do as well. So I think, actually, you were sponsored by David Lake. I don't see him here. So Johnny, do you want to just say hi? And Cheryl, I think you were recruited by Amanda, right? Jared, do you want to come up here? We'll let you know. Can somebody get a picture for us too, please?
Big Bam.
Got it. Thank you. So, Ashley and Lauren, welcome to South Tyler Rotary, and Johnny's going to put you guys on the spot.
Yes, so I'm going to go ahead. We're going to instead of doing the first one and then the other, we're going to do it combined. So I'm just going to ask a few questions. The Rotary Spotlight member is just kind of get an idea of kind of who you are, what you do, get to know a little bit about you. The only thing we don't need is your credit card information. You can keep that to yourself. But really, in the member spotlight, we just want to get to know more about who you are. We already just heard who invited you, who they had to have thought the world of you to have brought you on. We don't invite just anybody, right? But tell us a little bit about it. Tell us your name, Ashley, right?
My name is Ashley Coleman, and I have lived in Tyler all my life. I am married to Brian Coleman, who works at Tyler Police Department. Terrible guy. He's worked there for 21 plus years. I work in the healthcare field and senior living. I've done it for 24 years. I have 2 children, 23 years old, Blair, and 19.
Okay.
Is that right?
Perfect.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Wolf. I am originally from Indiana, but I lived in Texas since I was about 3. I kind of grew up in Chapel Hill and moved away from college and came back. I'm married to Curtis Wolf. We have 3 children, Bianca, McKenzie, and Curtis Jr. They're under the age of 13, all of them. And so we stayed very busy with them. I'm an attorney. I practiced in Houston for about 8 years, and then I moved back to Tyler to open my own law practice. And so I've been practicing here for about 10 years.
So you're normally the one asking all the questions.
Yes.
All right, it's perfect. So we'll move back over to Ashley. Now, we heard about you, your family, your children, that type of stuff. Now let's talk about, you touched a little bit about what you do as far as the job goes, but what made you get into that, and what do you like most about it?
Okay, I work in senior living, and I grew up visiting nursing facilities with my grandfather, who was a chaplain at the facilities here in Tyler, actually, at nursing facilities. And so I'm the regional director for assisted living, independent living, and the Richmond community.
You've been how long?
24 years.
So you're getting the hang of it? All right, Sarah.
So I made a pact when I was like 10 with a girlfriend that we were going to be lawyers, and unfortunately I'm the only one that stuck with it. But it's always been something that I was interested in as a child, and it just stuck with me, and so that's mostly went into it because I figured I could help people that way. And so I've been an attorney for about 17 years. And so I love it. It's a job that you can do just about anything, and it's never boring. And so it's always a different day every day.
So you're pretty committed.
Yes, very committed.
Awesome. Now, how long have you been in Tyler?
Forever.
Forever, okay.
We lived in New York.
Okay, Marcus. Yourself?
So I grew up in Tyler, out in Chapel Hill, and I moved away in 96 or 97 for college, and then I moved back in 2011.
Oh, boomerang fun. All right, fun. What do you do fun? Hobbies.
We do a lot with our church. We're members of Green Acres Baptist Church, and we work with the youth. We've done that for about 12 years. We also live on the lake, so anything lake we love. We love boating, fishing, all sorts of good stuff.
Gotcha.
So I don't know, fun, it always involves my children because there's 3 of them and there's always something going on. But if we get some time just on our own, we live out in the country, so we like to garden, fish, do anything that's outside. We go camping a lot in our RV in Arkansas and different places. So those are kind of the big things we do when we have extra time.
Perfect. Actually, what motivates you?
God and my family. And doing things for others. I mean, whether it's with our church, with the youth on one spectrum, and then with senior living, with seniors.
Gotcha.
I would say the same, God and my family, and just, I've kind of been more giving back within the legal community by doing volunteer work there, and I kind of want to branch out and do it outside of that. But I think right now in today's world, just teaching my kids that family is important is a big thing for me.
Gotcha. And then, what's a fun fact that you don't share with a lot of people that you think would be beneficial to us Rotarians?
That wasn't Do you
What's a fun fact? Just something interesting about yourself. Pass.
I don't know if it's a fun fact, but I am actually a very shy, introverted person, and so you would probably wonder why I would be an attorney. But there's something different about that. I have no problem getting up and talking in front of a jury or in front of a judge, but I get nervous and things like this. Again, I don't know if that's fun.
All right, easy questions. Favorite ice cream?
Chocolate. Strawberry.
Favorite restaurant?
I love mayonnaise. And now it's hot. That's a tough one. I would say Mexican food, but I don't know that I have a big absolute favorite.
We're going to be great. One last thing before a quote, something you heard, something that has stuck with you as far as whether it's spiritual or motivational, something a quote that you may have heard a while back that stuck with you maybe throughout your life, or just even recently.
I mean, I'll think of one. So, a quote that stuck with me since I started my own law practice was, "It's not my circus, not my monkeys," because you can really get drawn into your client's case and you become a part of it, but to stay sane and to be able to advocate, you have to get outside of that. And so that's, an attorney actually told me that when I started practicing family law, and it's come in very handy. Well, just through my work, it would just be unenjoyable. So to be
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. You are joining a pretty phenomenal group of Rotarians, I think. We all do, so appreciate you.
feel like the teacher up here shushing some folks out in the audience. Shh. Can I get Tom DeWitt to come on up front for a special presentation? Colleen, can I have you act as photographer again, please?
Yes.
And Beth, if you want to head up as well. And Dalton.
By the way, it is a reminder, we're still in the midst of the matching campaign. We've now had 4 people sign up for the email that I sent out over the weekend for $200 turns into 600 points. So I've got 2 more slots if anybody wants to make a donation to Polio Plus today. Well, that's,
You're one of them.
you're the one.
Did I see 2 hands in the
I
back?
saw 2 hands in the back. I'll be back there shortly. The Rotary Foundation, which of course is the recipient of our generosity during the matching campaign, just for grins, everybody who's a Paul Harris Fellow, stand up. All right. The Paul Harris Fellows are people who have contributed in their lifetime of Rotary at least $1,000. And those of us who have continued to give, every time you tap another $1,000, then you get a stone set in your pin. And the first 5 are sapphire, blue sapphires, and then you get red ones. And today, Jeff Johnson, if you'll come up here, please. No, it won't give up. There it is. There it is. Jeff gets his +7. Two red stones. He's catching up with you. Working on it.
Am I ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, yes. I do have to laugh because I think about 2 weeks ago I got my first, +6. And I'm like, I'm ahead of Jeff. And then, boom, here comes Jeff. I'm going to now ask Beth and Lacey to come up and speak to us about something that's happening in 3 short days. Does anybody know what that is?
Pizza.
I'm not ready to change it.
So, let these circulate. You'll just take one and pass around. It's kind of the same information. It's the teams, whatever crew you're serving on, and your time. One of them is organized alphabetically. The other is organized by volunteer commitment. So I'm really excited. I've got a great response from this club. You have really shown up in a very, very challenging environment. We have not gotten responses yet from the grant applications. Wishing we would have had some by now, but at least they're not no's. So there's still maybes out there. So we just need to be careful about the funding that will come into our club. I did get an email notification myself personally. I was able to apply through Morgan Stanley, my employer, because of the time commitment and monetary commitment to this club. And so we will have a $2,000 check coming from Morgan Stanley. If you have any questions on your assignment, text me, call me, email me, whatever. Some of you that are driving for Meals on Wheels have a buddy driver with you because you're getting a little bit longer route. The ones that are just singles, you don't have a buddy driver. If you find another Rotarian that wants to buddy drive with you, fine. That would be great. It might be helpful to have another person. And I think we have a lot of good volunteers, so if you want to tag a friend. I think Steve, you're a Meals on Wheels driver, you don't have a buddy, so.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. Oh, okay.
Will you send out an email? Like, I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
Yeah, what time the driver's supposed to be?
Yeah, I got a couple of emails out this morning, so if you're on the morning crew or you're on the 9:30 crew, you got an email from me, and the client started calling and I got busy. So hopefully this afternoon's quiet and all of the emails will go out, plus I'll attach that spreadsheet to an email to the entire club, so if you forget, you can look. But it has your times and stuff. The only one that doesn't have times assigned yet is the cleanup crew, and that'll be explained in the email that y'all get today, so.
One sheet per table or
No, they're just to pass around.
just to see?
Yeah, just to see.
That's fine.
Does anybody have any questions for me at this point?
Yeah, where it says gateway delivery, can you explain that a little bit better?
So one of the agencies that we're going to serve this year is, it's an agency under the Highway Aid and Rescue Mission. And they have a facility downtown on Valentine, it's called Gateway to Hope. And so they provide a lunch meal every day. So this Thursday, we're going to provide that meal. They've also reached out to the clients of PATH and to the people who attend Camp B. The Under the Bridge team also announced at the Under the Bridge services Saturday and Sunday that we're going to be serving the meal that day. Where I'm really excited about Gateway to Hope is, you know, our club does a lot of service projects, and we reach out, we want to help our community, but we do some things that are more physical in nature, cleaning parks and painting houses and some of those. So Gateway to Hope is going to provide a great opportunity for us this year, this coming year, to serve in a different way. And I'm really excited to see who's going to step up and help fill some of these requests. What they're asking for specifically is they need people who can help with GED tutorials, computer training, life skills training. I think we have a few people in this room right here who would be amazing with helping some of these gentlemen with life skills training. So I wanted to make sure we found some opportunities where we can serve in a non-physically demanding way. So I'm really excited to get an introduction to Gateway and start partnering with them this coming year.
But can you kind of walk us through, you want us to show up here, get the meals and take it to Gateway?
Yes,
It'll be on
yes.
your email, right?
Yeah, it'll be, I just haven't gotten that email. So, all right, any other questions? All right, see y'all Thursday.
Okay, so Thursday's a big day, so come ready to do stuff, listen, take orders, do whatever you need to do. Monday, we're also doing a project. We're going to have a blood drive, a little less intense. All you got to do is come and climb up on the bus, and they take care of everything else. So they stick you, your heart pumps your blood, you don't have to do anything, you just lay there. When you're done, they give you a snack. So plan on being there on Monday between 10 and 3. It's going to be here at First Christian Church. I'm passing around the sign-up sheet. If you will please sign up right here. If you don't sign up today, we will send out an online sign-up sheet, but please do the physical copy because that's going to affect the digital copy. So thank you guys so much for everything y'all are already doing.
Thanks, Dalton. Just a couple other quick reminders before I turn the program over. Megan Rios is our bulletin editor. She apologizes. She's not quite certain exactly what happened, but the bulletin we got this morning was blank. Yes, Nancy.
I wanted to say that in the past, when we've done cleanup, we've always been short of kitchen towels. Always. There's never been a year when that didn't happen. So I would appreciate if people would just bring maybe some.
So now, yeah, if you're helping with cleanup for the spaghetti supper on Thursday, please bring some towels if you don't want them getting dirty and maybe not. Might not get back. And as a reminder, we are accepting nominations for our year-end awards. Those nominations are being accepted until next Wednesday. I know that we've got a good handful of nominations in. I appreciate that, but you still have time to get a nomination in. So at this time, I would like to turn it over to our speakers. Chair Colleen Colby to introduce our guest speaker.
Okay, so you guys know that I'm married to a cop, and every once in a while we just gotta throw the little police stuff in to live in a form fashion. So today, this is actually one of my most favorite topics. We've got Detective Moore from Tyler PD with us. He has been in the department for 15 years. He served 8 years in the U.S. Army, so he's a fellow veteran. He's of the Iraq War. And since being in Tyler PD, he He has served as a member of the Tyler Police Department Bicycle Unit. You know those guys who are riding bikes all over the park and make me tired just watching them? He's done that. He has also been a part of the Gang Division, Major Crimes Division, and a member of the SWAT team most recently. He's currently assigned to an area called the TAG, and he'll tell us more about that when he gets up here, which is the Anti-Gang Center. And he's also been an instructor for Tyler Police Department for 10 years, and instructs everything from how to respond to active shooter events to fitness and health. So please help me welcome Detective Moore.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, hold it closer. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the ones you sing and you're supposed to put up here. I don't like that. Okay, so like she said, I'm Justin Moore. I've been with the police department a really long time, and I've done a whole lot of stuff there. What I'm doing right now is probably one of my most enjoyable things, other than being on the bicycle unit. I mean, you get paid to ride bicycles, that's pretty cool. And it's a proactive unit, so you get to go out and take care of problems. And so that's a really great unit. And with what I'm doing now, I still work really closely with those guys. So where I am now, I'm at the Texas Anti-Gang Center. And really what it is, it's almost a big task force where we work really closely with federal agencies, DPS, Longview, Smith County. We all work together in the 16 county area to take the fight to the gangs in this area. And y'all see why as we go through this PowerPoint today. So what is a criminal street gang? Well, it means 3 or more persons having a common identifying sign or symbol or an identifiable leadership who continuously or regularly associate in the commission of criminal activities. We have, I believe, 38 different sets of criminal street gangs in the city limits of Tyler that we have identified.
Wow.
And that does not include kind of what we've got going on in the county. We've got everything from motorcycle gangs to just your regular old street gangs to your Aryan Brotherhood, stuff like that. This is just kind of a funny video. It didn't work. I apologize for that. So, and really what it is it's a rapper who's actually he's part of a blood set, and he just goes through and shows all these different gang signs. And it's kind of funny because when he gets to the Crip gang signs, he's like, okay, I'm going to show you this, but I'm going to keep it kind of low. I'm not going to show it long. So it's a cool video. You can YouTube it if you want. It's gang signs with the gang. There's some bad language in it, so if you don't like that, don't watch it. So let's talk about our largest gang in the city limits. It's the west side of the city. It's over in the west side of town in the Butler College area. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with what that area is. The Hollywood Rose movie theater, everybody know that? The area east of that big neighborhood back in there, pretty much over to Palace, all that area would be kind of considered Butler College. These guys, their main color is going to be blue. It's a Crip set. They'll have 6-0 tattooed on them in all sorts of different forms, whether it be dice, Roman numerals, a 6 on this shoulder, a 0 on this shoulder. It's predominantly, matter of fact, it's an all-black gang. And like I said, they're the west side of the city. They've done everything from narcotic sales, robberies, burglaries, pretty much anything you can think of. Several of the murders that we've had within the last few years, these guys have been involved in. They really hate the 5 Big Super Crips, which is also a Crip set, so you think that they would get along. They hate each other and they kill each other regularly. And they also, like it says there, they hate the Northside Crips as well, which we'll talk about them as well. I don't know about y'all, but growing up, I knew that there was like Bloods and Crips were buddies and Bloods were buddies. Well, this gang is kind of different with that because they'll actually run with some Bloods and do business with some Bloods, and then they kill other Crips, and it doesn't make sense to me. So this is what some of their members look like. These are some of their signs. You'll see a bunch of them doing like this, which could be the W. They'll also just shoot the 3. They'll also, if I can get it to work, they'll do something like that. they'll do different forms. They'll do like a white city, which is over the Butler College area. I think their gang signs, their hand signs that they do are quite possibly the dumbest, most childish thing I've ever seen in my life. So I like to know every one of them so that I can do it back to them and just really upset them. So this is Anthony Asbell. He's been a gang member for forever. He's no longer running the streets. He's fortunately in the penitentiary, and I will hopefully never have to deal with him again. Yes.
Can you go back one slide? Did they have a Facebook page? No, that was a person's page.
This is a
That was-
person's Facebook.
Okay, thank you.
They're really proud of what they do, so you'll see this stuff on their Facebook page.
It happens.
So, does this have a pointer?
I think so.
Yep. So you can see over here, he's doing the W. Right here, he's doing that 3 like I was talking about. And then he's doing the white city sign, which can also be mistaken. Bloods will throw up a B, and they'll sometimes do it down here, or they'll flip it and do a B for higher blood. We'll look at some of that here in a second. These are more than just together throwing them gang signs. Right here, I believe this circles it. You can see his blue bandana. We've all seen that in the movies, right? Yeah. He's flying that flag. He's pretty proud. No different than how y'all are with the American flag, right? That's how they feel about that blue bandana. Including, y'all saw that it was in his left pocket. He will not put that in his right pocket. That's the blood side, is the right side. And I was talking to a blood the other day, and he had his red bandana hanging out of his pocket. I was like, hey man, put that over there on the left side. Man, I ain't no crab. It was really cool just how instantly upset he was that I would even suggest he put that on the crib side. So this fella, Rashad Hawkins, he's been involved in narcotic sales for a while. He's West Side, and he's just showing off his money, which is what they like to do. So here you can see the 60s, 6-0, and right there, training their kids up to do the same thing to enter that criminal street mentality, that lifestyle. So they're raising their kiddos up in this lifestyle and glorifying criminal activity. So here you have the West Side, you've got a road sign here, which is real common, and then that's a 6 and a 0 for 60. There you go, some more kids, teaching them, raising them up right. I think the Bible talks about that. Raise a child up in the way it should go, right? So, a lot of difficulty right there. So let's talk about Day Trade Gangsters. They're actually a set that runs with the 60s. They do a lot of the same things as the 60s. Again, you'll see here, it's west area of the city, P.T. Cole Park, Melvin Young, and they've done all the same stuff, narcotics up to murder. Same rival gangs, because 8 Trade Gangsters and 60s, basically one and the same, they just have different names. 8 Trey, you'll see the 8 and 3 somewhere on them. It'll be dice or Roman numerals in different ways. It's the same type of lifestyle. Trenzel Arts, we're still dealing with him. We actually just put this gentleman in jail, actually in prison the other day. The district attorney's office I think offered him 40 years. He turned that down. He took it to a jury trial, and the jury gave him 45 years. And it was for armed robbery and narcotic sales. And I'm sure you can see there, matter of fact, this picture was used at his trial in the punishment phase just to show that he's been a gang member and how long he's been a gang member, and the fact that he's represented, he's a trainer. Matter of fact, over here it says Butler and then college. Here you see the blue flags. You see their signs. See the 3. That could be a 3. They'll also do that for a crown. And here This is just something that was found on a search warrant at a house. You see the 3, and then obviously the H-ray gangs are crib. And what you'll see too is these crib sets won't use the letter B because they don't like the bloods, right? And the blood sets won't use the letter C, so they'll put a 3 in the place, or they'll put, like they call their birthday their crib day, or their C day. Then you have the insane gangster crips, ICGs. They really, for the most part, do not like West Side Rolling 60s. However, here recently, I've seen them working together a little bit in trafficking girls and selling some dope. So that's been pretty interesting. I saw the Rolling 60s and some ICGs come together to assault a 5 Deuce Uber guy, which is interesting because they usually get along okay with 5 Deuce Uber. You don't want to be a 5 Deuce Uber in this town because a lot of people don't like you. And 5 Deuce Ubers seem to get killed regularly. So here you go. You've got your, when you see numbers in tattoos, those are usually tied to a letter in the alphabet. So 937 is just ICG. And so when you're looking at tattoos, my poor wife and kids, when we're out, I see somebody and I'm just looking at tattoos. Stay away from that guy. Why, Dad? He's so-and-so, and his tattoos are telling me he's so-and-so. We had our roof done not too long ago, and the guy showed up to our house, and I'm just looking at him, just not paying no attention to his face, just reading his tattoos. And my wife's like, I know, I saw him. Just move past it, he's got to be here. So, it's where we are. Again, blue bandana. Nolf, you'll see it spelled like that. There's a few guys on the north side of town that have it spelled like that from their eye to the side of the face. 5 Deuce Hoover Crips. And 5 Deuce Hoovers are interesting because there's actually a couple different sets, and the only difference is 5 Deuce Hoovers go with blue and orange like you see right there, but then there's a set that's from Chapel Hill, and they're blue and gold, and instead of Hoover, they're Hoova. Most of the gang sets around here are hybrid sets, which somebody moved here from California, or they watched a movie, or they just saw the gang lifestyle in California, New York, Chicago, and so they just adopted that here and started it. So these are the same thing. 5 Deuce, that's a street, and it's not even a street in Tyler. I believe that's a street up in Chicago, and that gang got started there, and so came here, and those guys just adopted that same name. Again, you can see there's Smith County, Tyler. It's 5'2", 837 for a tattoo, mostly black. Yeah, okay, there's murder. I didn't see it at the end. I was like, wait a second, the murder should be up there. They really do not like the West Side Rolling 60s. They don't like the 70s, West Side 70s. They do not like 8-tray gangsters. These guys don't like a lot of people, and a lot of our gang sets hate these guys. They seem like they're always wrapped up in some sort of a war with somebody. So you can see, here's our little hand signal, and their hand signal does like this. I have no idea how that means 5 Deuce, especially if it turned down, because a lot of times you'll see them, if they do something like that, that's disrespecting the West Side Rolling 60s, versus this is, showing that you respect them all. So I don't understand how that stands for 5 Deuce, but it does. It would seem to me that would be disrespectful. It's not. And here you go, the 837 right here, and that just stands for the Hoover Crip Gangster. There's all sorts of stuff in that. I mean, you see the 5-2, the X, all sorts of stuff there. They've also adopted the Houston Astros logo, because it fits perfectly for what they like. It's orange and it's blue. It's out of Houston. It's got that big H on it. So, and what's funny about that is a lot of gangs like that Houston. It's got the 5 stars, so there are blood sets that like it because the 5-point star. So yeah, but they really like blue and orange. I remember the first time I saw these guys, I'm like, why is a Crip wearing so much orange? I was early in my career, and it was when they were still pretty brazen about being gang members. And so I just asked them one day. There was some that were living up on North Ross. I'm like, what's up with all the orange y'all are wearing? And they just explained it. They just broke it all down, like what the colors mean, where they came from. And it was amazing how knowledgeable and brilliant these guys are, and just for all the wrong purposes. So there's your 5-2, and you got it right there, Roman numerals, so he can throw it up like that and show opposing people like who he is. You've got your flags right there. Then you've got your north side crypts, also known as El Norte NSC. Mostly Hispanic, but I've actually seen some black guys in this game as well. Not very common, but I've seen some of them. Again, they're going to be, their color's going to be blue. They like the number 14 because that's the 14th letter of the alphabet is an N, so there's your north side. And they're going to be mostly, like it says here, the north side, the north areas of the city. They're also involved in assaults, robberies, murder. It's funny, all these gangs, you notice it's like they just list everything all the way up to and including murder, right? Chris, the guy that is my partner, and y'all have probably heard speak of before. This has the East Side logos on here, and they have all but been destroyed because he did a RICO case on them several years ago and put so many of those guys in prison that we haven't heard from the East Side logos since then, to the point where I pulled that slide out of this. The only problem with that is it's been about 10 years, and some of those guys are now getting out of prison, and so we're watching them going, what are you going to do? Did you learn your lesson, or are you going to get back involved? So far, they've been pretty quiet, so it says here you go, Norte and Crip, and what you can see is they're actually making a gang sign right there. And so they can make their gang sign and show you who they are with their tattoos as well. Then you got your 4 dots, which is, what they say that means is my north side crazy life. Because you'll have the 3 dots, which means you can look up my crazy life. Y'all see that O right there? This guy's name's Oscar. He was going to get Oscar tattooed right there. He realized it a little later. Oh, so it's just funny. And she's doing N. It's kind of hard to see, but she's got her thumb up right there. Again, a guy teaching his child the importance of criminal lifestyle. Where you want to be involved in this. There you go, your 1-4. So now you have your north side bloods. What's interesting about this? What's the same number, right? Only difference is now we're in red. We still have the 4-dot tattoo, mostly Hispanic, doing all the same things, and they don't like the north side Crips. What? Don't like the same, but they hate each other. Just from the same kind of community, just separated by a couple streets. You can see down here, they're making that little blood sign that everybody likes to do. And then you can see here, they're both making the Crip, that has 2 different meanings, Crip killer and cop killer. You can see the C right here, and the K right there. So this is interesting fellow, let's see here. Yeah, there you go, same guy. And his mom, who's sitting right here with him, I think he was 13 in this picture. We actually arrested him about 3 months ago again. And his mom just glorifies that lifestyle, just loves the fact that her son is involved in that. And look at that face. Like, that's a face, once you put all those tattoos and stuff on there, that's a face that legitimately only a mom can love.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, you can just see the progression. Swan Bloods, these guys have been quiet for a while, and in the past 6 months or so, they've been involved in all sorts of robberies and assaults in the county and here in the city. And so been able to actually identify some new Swan bloods, and they're going to go to prison for quite a while, so hopefully we won't hear from them. But their color's going to be red. Number 433 is significant, just because that's kind of the county road out in Swan. It's 433. You'll see a bunch of these guys throwing up the 4 hand sign, and all that is Swan and County Road 4. All their county roads start with 4. So they've been involved in narcotic sales. Actually, we're going to have to add to that because they're trafficking girls now, robbing folks, they're pulling around some houses. You'll see how that, I don't know if y'all can see that really well from where you are, but that's actually looks like it's bleeding. You'll see that in a lot of blood tattoos. On whatever the tattoo is, you'll see it kind of bleeding down. Again, you've got your blood sign there, Damu, and that's just, I think I got a slide actually here in a minute that shows that. Swan, which Swan in and of itself isn't, a gang tattoo, but when you start adding those other tattoos into it, that's for the attorneys in the room. So this is one of our new guys that we arrested the other day. They're now also adopting the 730, and that it's interesting because up in New York, it's 703 stands for crazy, and so they just changed it a little bit and said 730 stands for crazy. You see the 4 there, and then there's the crown on top of it, and then you've got your county roads in 433, and your B, and a whole bunch of 5-pointed stars. This is who they say their label is. You can Google this, and it'll pull up them doing different raps, and you can see all the different rap videos and see them with their AR-15s and AK-47s, and you can listen to them talk about what they've done and what they're going to do based on their rap music. So somebody was asking me about Aryan Brotherhood. Was that you? Yeah, they're in and around us. But you've got regular Aryan Brotherhood, and then you have Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. They're actually 2 different groups, even though you would think they would be the same. They're both kind of prison gangs that then started working in the civilian world as well. And what you get with them is just like what y'all think, your Nazi tattoos, they're going to be white. You're going to have the woodpecker-looking face or the woodpecker bird and stuff tattooed on them on their vehicles, stuff like that. So here you go, AC, they like the diamond. Yeah, forever truly white. 14 words and then 88 precepts. That's a big deal for them. All these guys learn that, have it memorized. Again, these guys are really smart. They're just taking their brilliance and using it for the absolute wrong reasons. If they would just use it for something productive, they would be so much better.
What, 14 words?
It's actually part of the laws and principles. Yeah, I don't memorize it because I'm so. Then there's your woodpecker. And obviously your SS and your swastika. Banditos, who was it saying that they saw that was you? All of y'all have probably seen a whole lot more banditos lately. They are trying to add to their numbers in the state of Texas. And in this area specifically, they had a group that they outed bad, which means they don't talk to them anymore, blah, 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 blah. Well, when they outed them bad, that group went and started their own club, the Kinfolk. Then the Kinfolk invited the Mongols in from California. So now the Mongols are moving into Texas. You've got the Cossacks in this area, which we'll talk about in just a minute. And so Texas right now is a state where there's really a power grab. And the reason for that is we have a huge portion of the border, and you get dope and girls and money and stuff through the border. Do you have some questions, sir?
I just have a question. So,
Hold on.
okay.
Yep.
And when you get finished, can you tell us about the safety rules and laws we get finished?
The laws about gang members?
Safety rules and laws, like please stay away from the street.
Oh.
Street gang.
I can try to, yeah. What was yours?
Well, kind of the same question. How does this game mentality, if they started, maybe how does it grow in this area and see, you know, kind of how to read about it, and or, you know, when we do it, we see, you know, some land game that happened. I've never come in contact with that, or that I know of, but I probably won't, but, you know, how do you handle that situation?
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end a little bit. Just remind me. So there's I don't believe he works there anymore, but he used to be the security of Brother Francis. He was a sergeant there. Got a picture of that fellow.
You're serious?
Yeah, that's a for real picture of him on his motorcycle. And that's his Mother Francis badge, and that's his sergeant name.
They were at Montez this week.
So, let's see that up one. So notice his patch there. So you have, this is kind of your old school Bandito patch, and this is your Cossacks. They call this the Ugly Man group. Excuse me. This is your newer patch for the Banditos, and then this is the Cossacks 1% club. The Cossacks split after Waco. Y'all remember Waco, the shooting that happened there? So the Cossacks split at that because some of the Cossacks were like, hey, we want to form a 1% club, we want to start warring with the Banditos. And then some of the Cossacks said, hey, no, we're not doing that. We don't want to be involved in that. And so they split, and some of them went to a 1% club, and some of them stayed in the Ugly Man Club, is what we call the original club. Y'all remember that murder that happened about a year ago? Guy on a motorcycle? No? Yes? Okay. That was Cossacks Ugly Man, the group that didn't want to become 1%ers and murder people. They murdered one of the 1%er guys, a sergeant at arms for the 1% guy. And then again, criminal lifestyle. Pirate Bloods, you heard me talk about, they'll throw that P. Their color's going to be red, 5-pointed star, because of the Pyro 5-9 tattoo. They're going to be mostly black, but they're not all black. There's also some Hispanics that are Pyro. I've seen them everywhere in the city, and they've been involved in everything. I'm going to have to bounce through these pretty quick. You'll see them wearing the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies. Yeah, sorry. Phillies hat, because red and white, it's got that P for Pyro. The 5-pointed star, blood. There's the flag. DAMU, drugs and money united. And then MOB, you'll see that on them. Money over blood or money over bitches. So yeah, we don't have all those. Okay. So your question was, where do you not go?
Well, how does this name and how does this area, this has a job in it, but how does it get started? Was this about somebody going, I don't understand what.
Really what it seems to be is they seem to start around the junior high age, and what they're looking for is they're looking for acceptance. They're looking for a family type deal, and so they're not getting that from wherever, whether that be home or whatever. And so I can tell you my own personal beliefs, but I do not speak for the city of Tyler, or the Tyler Police Department with those beliefs, so I'm not going to say that right now. But usually what they're looking for is they're looking for acceptance. They're looking for that family, that close camaraderie with somebody. And that's, they get into it because they're looking up to those older guys, and those other older guys start taking advantage of their youthfulness and them needing to be wanted, needing to fit somewhere, and then they start getting them to do activity.
How many active gang members are there in Tyler, Texas?
A lot.
I mean, 2,000, 3,000?
No, so Westside Rolling 60s, last time we checked that, it was about 75 members. 5 New Super Crips are right behind them. I believe they're at 68, and that's identified members. Like I said, with the Swan Bloods, once they started robbing people And we started investigating them, and I started really looking into who these guys are and what their tattoos were. I started finding this nexus that we hadn't seen in a while because they've been laying low. So who we have identified and how many there really are, just like with any criminal activity, what we actually find versus what's really going on is probably pretty low. So I can't give you an actual number, but there's several. Yes, sir.
Do any of these people, do they have jobs? Or are they just
Some of them
rely
do.
on?
Some of them do have jobs. A vast majority of them do not.
How long have gangs been in town?
Since before I got here. Chris started here, and he's been here 32 years, and they were here when he got here. So they've been here a long time. So also, I wanted to apologize as a major crimes detective. I wear a suit and stuff. As a gang detective, I'm not just going to the office and stuff. So like I had to remember to put my gun on, put my badge on. I'm not going to go be watched. So I apologize that I'm not all dressed up, but there's a reason for that. Yes, sir.
You sometimes tell the kids and family safety rules and laws like please stay away from street gang.
Right. So I'm trying to understand your question there. Like, what street should we stay away from?
Stay away from street gangs. Stay away from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those are rules and laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if you are a member of a street gang and you commit these types of offenses, you're actually going to get more time because of the fact you're a member of a criminal street gang. So,
yeah.
Any other questions?
So you can't really just go up to them and start talking baseball.
You could. I've done that. Like just roll up in front of their house, especially on bikes, and been like, Maverick's going to lose again, you guys? And it's funny, you can start having a relationship with them as a police officer, especially on bikes, because you're so much more approachable. You can do that. But their lifestyle is different than what your lifestyle is.
You think that deep down there really is something good in there to shoot somebody in the back?
I have talked to some of the most tender-hearted humans I've ever seen in my life that are gang members, who in 2 years I put in prison for murder. Wow. So there you go.
Would you draw one of these and read out the last four numbers, please?
Of course, this is not gambling.
Right. What if I keep
It's numbers.
It's our organized disorganized. All right, you ready? The last four?
Yes.
5817.
All right.
The last question.
Judson, thank you so much for speaking to us today. I did have a question. We have a few folks watching on YouTube, and they wondered if there was a way for us to get the presentation to them. Is that something you can email to Colleen?
I'll have to see if I can give that out publicly.
Okay. Or maybe just some of the slides. All right.
Four dimes.
4 diamonds. Okay. All right, so don't forget spaghetti supper. We need to have all hands on deck, so please be here on Thursday. If you're not certain what your role is, please get in touch with Beth. We have a guest here today, so nobody recognizes to invite them back. Our next meeting next Monday is going to be a magic show from our previous district governor, Ted Hines. It's the magic of our Rotary Foundation. So I'm kind of excited about it. I've heard good things about this magic show. If there's nothing else to come from the floor, commissioners, can I put you on the spot to lead us in our four-way test?
The four-way test is what we think, say, or do. First.
Is it true?
Second.
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Yeah, I'm starting to get concerned that we haven't received any nominations.
Well, so when we were at the board meeting last week,